Sickos Club.
Sickos Club.
Wrestling fans, I have a prepared statement. Shell has the day off. In her place is your guest host, the toast of the third coast, with PhD in pain and a doctorate in destruction. Professor Degree, sometimes known as Cadillac Margarita, with me as always, your long-suffering co-host, founding member of Sickos Club, and host of Sit Down, Shut Up, and Mark Out, the second best podcast on the internet.
Whoa.
Hi, Blade Daily. Blade, how you doing?
I was doing fine until you just called me second best. Like, what the fuck, dude?
I called you show the second best, not you.
Yeah, but I mean, that's the show is like a direct reflection.
I'm not on the show. I'm not on that show.
Oh, so that's why it's second
Every
best.
week we take a look back at a classic wrestling event from wrestling's past through a modern lens. And this week we're covering the Royal Rumble from 1990 per listener suggestion. Ladies and gentlemen, this is professional wrestling the hard way. I wrote that this morning. Did you like that?
That was fantastic. I
Thanks.
do
Insult you? I was nice.
We got Pippin in the chat.
Oh yeah, fuck. Oh yeah, how do I open the chat up? You have to tell me how.
I just did it.
I can't see
you
it.
You gotta go over to the right, bro.
Uh-huh.
And then click on the thing that says chat. The fucking obvious, dead obvious
Oh, there
fucking
it is,
icon
chat.
that says chat. And then open it.
Studio
click
chat.
on that.
No.
And then go to you go to public chat.
Public. Yes. It is Pippin.
Pippin's here.
And the Hard
Pippin's
Way
here.
podcast. Oh, that's us.
That's
And
us,
something that says I. Who's that?
fucking imbecile. So that's Sickos Club.
Oh, we're doing it through. Yeah. So it's Sickos Club, Hardway, and you are all commenting at the same time. Oh, it's your burner account, dude.
That's weird. I didn't mean for that to happen.
This is where you give yourself away.
But that's happening. That's what's happening right now. I can even
Professor
see.
Degree. Yes. What's
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, there we go.
I got a captain's hat on. Be good.
Yes, Degree is utterly confounded by technology and utterly incapable of using tech. I shouldn't say that. He's logged in to his computer currently.
I am.
He's broadcasting over the internet.
It's
He
because I
doesn't
have teenage
understand
kids.
what the internet is.
No, it's because
No.
I have children that help me take care of these things.
Yeah, he thinks there's little mice and tubes that run digital
On,
imagery from one
like on a
computer to
treadmill.
another. And I've been telling you, Cadillac, that's not true.
It is true. It's like the Flintstones.
Yeah, I know.
Everything's
I know
run by
you want that.
dinosaurs.
I know. And you think that they like run little cars with their feet?
I know
Yeah,
they do.
I know.
So this week, per someone's suggestion, I don't know who it was, we're doing the Royal Rumble 1990. If you are someone who likes to listen to this show and you want us to cover something, everything we're covering is on YouTube, so it's accessible for everybody. You don't have to pay for anything. We're not doing any streaming services. So if there's something you want us to watch, leave us a comment or whatever, or shoot us an email and we'll watch it.
Hit us up at why at sickosclub.com. That's why, all one word, at sickosclub.com. And let us know what you want to see. We definitely want to, bring you guys in and have you participate with us. We share the links in advance. Most weeks, eventually we will do that. That's kind of more of a goal than something we're currently doing.
I'll even wear a different hat if you want to.
No.
I'm wearing this in honor of Mike Rotunda.
So Degree.
Yeah.
I think it's time to level up. Okay. Now,
Because
last
then
week,
you think anybody notices that I'm bald?
well, I do want to hide that because it's shameful. I mean, you know that. You're deeply ashamed of your baldness, and
Absolutely.
as you should be, right? But what I think, we talked about Captain Mike Rotunda last week, and you put the captain's hat on, and to me, I had kind of one of those. The hat was glowing, like and you put it on your head, and all of a sudden, I didn't have to be blinded by the shining of your.
You're seeing your own reflection in my head.
Yes, and I'm getting distracted at the sight of my own beauty, and all of that. I didn't have to deal with that, and the captain's hat looks cool.
And I have authority now.
You've been a professor
Mm-hmm.
You've been a professor of degrees.
Mm-hmm.
Might you be a captain of degrees?
I might be the captain of your heart.
Yeah.
Too long ago, too far apart.
Well, let's just say you're the dreamboat captain of this podcast.
Absolutely. Okay. Do you want to talk about the Royal Rumble from 1990?
I have so many fucking notes.
I took notes for every single person that entered, and my count was
and
off.
Eliminated. I have all entrances and eliminations. Okay, so this is going to be great. We're gonna use the hand thing if we don't interrupt.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna use the raise your hand thing, guys. We are talking inside baseball on the external stream.
Mm-hmm. Because I need to be walked through every single step of anything you do on a computer. Because I did not have a computer until I was 30 years old.
Did you see that I raised my hand?
I did.
So you guys aren't seeing what we're talking about here, but when we started podcasting, I was like, how do people just not fucking talk all over each other, right? Like one big hallmark of Sit Down, Shut Up, Mark Out when it started, and the hard way when it started, was that we just interrupted each other all the time because I didn't know how not to do that. And then I realized there was this little hand raising tool in Zoom, which we originally
that
used.
No one ever uses. Ever.
To be fair, Joshi G used it a lot, and I just didn't pay any attention to what she was doing. And so I talked over her all the time still. But I'm determined for us to make a professional product eventually. Brett may never use this. Let's be real. But today, Degree and I are going to use it.
We are. I'm going to hover my mouse over top of it so that I can always use it. Okay.
So you have to pre-hover your mouse?
No, it's like above. It's slightly above. It's like, so I'm ready. I'm like at the ready. I'm always at the ready. I did not write down the location because all I watched was the match itself. So I don't know where this was at. We
didn't watch this whole card. Yeah. We didn't feel like ingesting.
I'm not even positive if it was Sean Mooney or Tony Schiavone on commentary, or neither, perhaps. I don't know whose voice that was. Whose voice was that?
Okay.
One was Jesse Ventura, and the other was...
Can I set the scene here, pal?
Yeah.
Can I set the scene?
Mm-hmm.
They're in Orlando, Florida. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know how many people were there. It looked pretty full.
Mm-hmm.
It's Tony Schiavone with Jesse Ventura. You got Tony Schiavone and Sean Mooney confused?
Yeah, I kind of wasn't sure. Well, because I watch it when I'm working out, so I'm on the treadmill, so everything's a little bit quieter than usual. You know what I mean?
Are you humble bragging right now? Oh, I only watch it when I work out.
I'm what's it called when I'm efficient with my time. That's all. I'm just telling you who I am, man. I'm not here to brag or show off or anything like that.
So Pippin says, hey, maybe I'll actually be able to get a word in the next time I'm on the show. I wouldn't count on it.
Pippin was mute.
I wouldn't count on it. I mean, I'm not saying that we're going to be considerate. I'm just saying that we're going to be more professional.
Maybe Pippin wants to lose at Jeopardy next time we do a Jeopardy episode.
Well, Pippin beat me and you at Jeopardy.
Yeah, but...
And because I lost all my money before you did...
Yeah,
you think you beat me at Jeopardy.
Mm-hmm.
Nope, that's not how that works. Ken Jennings didn't come in second place and claim to be the winner.
First two entrants at the Royal Rumble.
Hey, whoa.
I'm just getting to the match. Do we need to explain the rules of the Royal Rumble for the fans?
No, we do not. So it starts out with the Fink doing all that, but I was just going to say, Tony Schiavone trying so hard not to sound Southern is painful to listen to. This man sounds like a fish out of water.
Yeah.
He just doesn't belong in the WWF at all.
I didn't realize he was there all the way till 1990.
He was only there 1 year. He went in 89.
I guess I thought it was earlier than that for some reason.
Then his wife wanted to leave because she hated Connecticut. Mm-hmm. And that's pretty much what happened.
That's the story. Yeah, I heard him talk about it on that other show that we're not going to name. His show, his own show. Whatever Tony
What happened when?
Yeah, and he talked about it, and he I don't know. That was before AEW even started. Now he's a happy man again.
Yes.
First two entrants in the row. Did you time it by any chance? Has it? I mean, I know people do that. Because what is it supposed to be every
2 minutes?
2 minutes. And I know it's never.
They definitely kayfabe the time for sure.
I mean, I know that, but I was thinking about doing it with every single one just to see how it would turn out.
No, absolutely not.
So Ted DiBiase was kind of the MVP of this. He is the first guy in there with Coco Beware. Coco Beware has his sides of his head shaved and I guess bird feathers painted on.
I was very confused by it. He has some kind of weird fucking paint on the side of his head and in the back.
Yeah, I think they're supposed to look like feathers. I'm not sure.
And then DiBiase just jumps his ass on the way down the ring.
Yeah.
And then my next note just says Coco backdropped out of the ring like a bag of shit.
That's the constant theme of this show is everybody is just backdropped out. Everybody comes with a flying clothesline or whatever. It's all just stupid eliminations. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Coco wears out. Marty Jannetty comes in later in the number 3 spot. He eliminates himself like a dumbass with a flying crossbody.
Okay, but that was a cool looking elimination.
Oh yeah, it was great. I mean, you have to
Jannetty got to look good for a second. Like,
he did.
He came in.
I think with the Royal Rumble, I mean, that's the beauty of it is there's so many people you can have a few little comedy things and a few stupid eliminations. And it's like, that's cool. I don't know. Jesse Ventura says capacity crowd for the first time. And then Jake the Snake is in.
Yes. And Jake and DiBiase had a long-standing feud. And Jake had been out because of with an injured neck the year before. That was actually because the Honky Tonk Man broke a shoot guitar over his fucking head.
Right. And that's what Jake claims is the beginning of his drug addiction, right?
Yes. And who knows what's true about that.
Yeah.
But he got a shoot guitar broken over his head that wasn't gimmicked in any way. And had a bad neck injury, but they attributed the injury to Ted DiBiase. And so Jake was just coming back at this time.
Okay.
And what I like about this Rumble already at this point, we're only 4 entrants. This is number 4 entrant. Mm-hmm. They're setting up the stories that are going to carry into WrestleMania 6 because Jake wrestled Ted DiBiase at WrestleMania 6. And so Jake comes down. He's doing the pointy thing. The crowd explodes. Another thing I really like about this, no music when people come out. They did the music for Ted DiBiase and they did the music for Coco. But once that starts, it's just people, hear the buzzer go off. They see who's coming out and they cheer or boo. Mm-hmm. You really do end up getting a real reaction of what the crowd thinks of this person. And I thought that was kind of neat.
Yeah.
I would use the word neat.
You don't even get, I mean, it's before the days of the stage, you know what I mean? So they're just coming out of a door somewhere,
Right.
It's when WWF still felt it was less show. I mean, it was obviously more show than anything else at the time, but it wasn't the big grand experience it is. It still felt like wrestling,
Right. It wasn't about the pageantry so much that it wasn't about wrestling anymore.
So Macho Man is next. And it's like he's in between Macho Man and is he the king at that point? I don't think he is.
He's the king. He'd become the king about 3 months before this. And
he looked cool as hell, dude. He's wearing like kind of a blue and like orange boots and shit. Like he just is a different looking Macho Man. There's like not the traditionals, but there's all those classic Macho Man outfits you see. I have never seen this one before. That combination. That was cool. I
have a note about that as well. So I think Macho had just converted from little guys to long boys.
Okay.
So he went from his tight, the little underoos to the long tights,
which is what I think of with the King. I think to me that's like the difference between the two characters, kind of almost.
Yes,
like the easy identifier.
He's got these electric blue tights.
Mm-hmm.
And then they've got this pattern on them that is nothing like a normal Randy Savage before or after pattern. And then he's got neon orange wrist tape. When he runs out, I have no idea who it is at first.
Yeah.
I mean, I genuinely did not know. He never wore anything like this again. He never wore anything like this before. It's a really, really weird gear for him. It looks like
when I modify guys on the video game. And I'm like, what I mean? I'm like, I'm going to make my own version of Randy Savage. And that's what it looks like.
Absolutely.
And he has a headband. He has like the sequin headband, but it's not the whole do-rag thing. Like,
He's converting from the Macho Man to the Macho King. It's a work in progress.
Yeah. He almost looks like he's like the third rocker. It's kind of cool looking. That was cool.
I like the color combo. I definitely
too.
like the color combo.
Blue and orange look really good together. I love it.
Yes, and Jake just gets his ass beat by Macho King and Ted DiBiase. They mutually just agree, like, let's beat his ass.
I was gonna say, because they would have been enemies, what, a year or two earlier, right?
No.
Savage and DiBiase, they fought at WrestleMania 4. I mean, that was 2 years ago.
Oh, Savage and DiBiase. Yeah. So, yeah, like 18 months before this, DiBiase and Savage were bitter rivals. And then 18 months after this, Jake is having his Cobra bite the fuck out of Macho Man on WWF Superstars and scaring the living shit out of anybody who saw it.
Yeah, dude, that was awesome. That was one of those like, oh no, I'm a fan for life kind of things. Like when I got to see that, that was cool as shit. Roddy Piper is number 6. Jake and Roddy kind of go after the bad guys, I think. I'm trying to see. My notes are very sparse. I watched it a while ago. The crowd fucking loves Roddy Piper. Not a shock.
Yep.
No surprise. I mean, so at what point, when Piper turns good after WrestleMania 3? Or 4?
Piper, well, because he retired to go film the movie, and then he had been back as kind of he was doing primetime with Bobby Heenan.
Okay.
He replaced Gorilla Monsoon. And so him and Bobby Heenan, he was very babyface on that, in that situation. And then he started gradually being reincorporated into wrestling. He was a babyface at WrestleMania 5, which was in 89.
Who did he fight at 5?
He didn't fight anybody. He did a Piper's Pit with Morton Downey Jr.
Oh, yeah.
Morton Downey, sorry. And he hit him with a fire extinguisher because he was smoking a cigarette, remember?
Right, yeah.
And
that's great.
He did that. And so he was always a babyface in those appearances. I'm not sure when he first started wrestling again, but this is definitely one of his first matches back. And he runs out. He's on some kind of roid regimen because he looks more muscular than I think I've ever seen him, but also thinner. You know, he slimmed down a little bit. He looks like very Hollywood.
When he's in, he looks bigger in They Live. I'm guessing They Live is what he left to go do.
That's what he did. Yeah.
And he looks fucking huge in that movie. And yeah, he's definitely like trimmed down a little bit, but yeah, he looks his prime Piper, I guess. How old is he at this point?
I would guess he's probably in his late 30s.
Okay. He's like a peer of Flair and Steamboat and stuff, right?
Right.
I mean, okay.
Yeah, I think Flair was 40 in 89. So I think Piper would be around that age. Also, we got some interesting comments here. So Pippin says, Macho Man used to come into the grocery store I worked at all the time. He looked like an old sea captain. I didn't know who he was until he spoke. I think that is an incredibly accurate description of Randy Savage.
I can see that.
I think that is incredibly accurate.
Randy
Very
Savage.
cool.
And then as soon as he talks, you know exactly who he is.
Oh, listen, brother.
Number 7 is the Warlord. And this is where I have a question for you, Blade, the wrestling historian who says that Barbarian was underrated. And I think that's a fair statement. People gave Demolition a lot of shit and called them Legion of Doom ripoffs. The Road Warriors have said that they consider the Ultimate Warrior and Sting to kind of be ripoffs. Obviously, when you're the first, everybody copies you. But the Powers of Pain, the Barbarian and Warlord, they didn't look similar. Like Demolition wore face paint, but they really didn't look anything like Legion of Doom. Ultimate Warrior and Sting, kind of a little bit, but not really. The Powers of Pain looked fucking identical to the Legion of Doom. They're
absolute clones. Yeah.
How come nobody ever gives them shit for it, though? That's the thing I don't get.
That is a great point. That is a great and very fair point. And I think it's just because they kind of ended up being very inconsequential as a team in the long run. They didn't have a run where they were on top ever. And they never held any tag titles. So I think that's probably why. It's just they didn't leave a lasting impression on a lot of people.
They feuded in the NWA, right? With the Road Warriors or no?
With the Road Warriors, yes, they did. So that was shortly before this.
Yeah, it's just, it blows my mind because people, Demolition. They're just, it's like, dude, have you ever seen the fucking Powers of Pain? They're like exactly the Legion of Doom.
Yes.
Anyway.
And you know what's interesting is I never made the connection between Demolition and and the Road Warriors until I read somebody making that comparison in Pro Wrestling Illustrated, one of those magazines. I had never even considered that one could be like the other because they were totally different things.
They're not even remotely. Demolition is like kind of like Uncle Wrestlers if they were really into Kiss and like BDSM.
Sadomasochism.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the Legion of Doom, I don't even know what the fuck. They're just crazy. Next up.
Well, hold up.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. I'm just dedicated to my notes.
Yeah, let's slow it down here, pal. So a couple.
I got
other
nothing
things
good
here
to say about the Warlord, though.
No, neither do I. I mean, other than steroids, like lots of steroids, just
and
tremendous
he's like
amount of steroids.
Puffy water muscular steroid. I don't like those guys.
So we don't have. It's not the Warlord that I'm here to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
Piper and Savage were going at it at one point, and I thought to myself, that would have been a cool feud. Why did that never happen?
It's a good question.
Babyface Piper versus the Macho King. That would have been a lot of fun.
That is really bizarre. That seems like that would have been a lot of money too. Like I'm surprised they never did that.
Yeah, yeah. And Warlord runs in, he starts beating up Roddy Piper because Roddy Piper had evened the odds, and they do still kind of obey the heel face dynamic to a certain degree, but
for the most part, yeah.
I will say this show, I watched it last night and this morning. This show, what I enjoy and what's refreshing about it is all the Rumble tropes haven't happened yet. Like this isn't for a title shot at WrestleMania. It's just for the sake of winning, right? So that wasn't introduced for.
And I want to get back to that in a second.
Yeah, Flair won in 92, won the belt.
And ever since then,
it became a trope.
Right.
But it hasn't become a trope yet. And also, they are embracing the every man for himself aspect of it a lot more. And I have some notes about that, about some unusual people beating up on each other.
That's great. Yeah. I mean, I like that. I'm a fan of the Rumble, or anything for that matter. Like the prize is winning it.
Yeah.
I don't need, even like with the Owen currently in AEW, like I don't think it needs to be for a title shot at All In. I don't think the Rumble needs to be for a title shot at WrestleMania. I just like the idea that you win something and that's just it. That's what you've won. You have the honor of saying, I am the Royal Rumble winner of this year. I mean, whatever. It's not like a big deal, but I like that. I like that.
I do too.
I guess I prefer it because I feel like it's like a lesser version of why I don't like Money in the Bank. The first time you do Money in the Bank, it's interesting. Every time after that, it's just like you're just so locked in, and there's only so many different ways you can go, and it just kind of like, I don't know, doesn't do anything for me.
I remember when and I wasn't even watching at the time. I remember reading about it. I remember Big E won Money in the Bank and cashed in Money in the Bank, and that's how he won his first title. And I'm like, this gigantic babyface man is going to pick on an injured, beaten up guy. And that's how he's going to win the title. And you expect people to like feel like he's on an equivalent level. That's when your belt stops meaning anything.
Exactly. And like, it's that same thing where the first time it happened, I think it was Edge, right? That's why he's the opportunist or whatever. The first time, oh, awesome. You found a loophole in the rules. That's really cool.
Right.
But then, then you're just, again, you're kind of pigeonholed, and that's, I don't know. To me, that's not for me. Gnosis says he likes trophies like the Owen belt or the crown from the old King of the Ring. I like the crown from the old King of the Ring too. And I know a lot of people think it's stupid and they think it's corny. I don't know. I kind of like it. The trophy's better than a crown, though.
Well, the thing is, I think with the king thing is then you have to adopt a stupid king gimmick for months after that. That's what I don't like about
That's what I agreed, yeah.
Winning, I think, should be, winning a Royal Rumble is like a career accomplishment. I think that's something, Stone Cold has the most ever wins. He's won 3 times. Right. Roman Reigns just won did he win for the 3rd time? I don't know.
I read something about Roman Reigns main eventing what is it? It's like since 2015, he's main evented like all but 2 WrestleManias. It's like,
Yes.
Jesus Christ, man. Like,
He's main evented more WrestleManias than Hulk Hogan.
yeah, that's nuts.
That's and he surpassed him like a while back. I mean, it's not even close, but he's main evented more than John Cena. He's main evented more than Hulk Hogan. He's main evented more than Austin, The Rock. I mean, it's wild. So anyway, Warlord came in, started beating up on Roddy, and then Bret Hart is your next entrant.
Solid pink, Bret.
Solid pink. Not my favorite.
No.
Solid
not
pink.
At all.
Yes. Not a flattering look. What this made me realize is I'm actually another trope that's an less noticeable trope of modern Rumbles is that when a tag team guy comes out, his partner comes out generally while they're still in the ring, which is not the case in this Rumble. And
not at all.
I think that actually makes it feel more random and interesting.
I agree. Yeah, because, well, we'll get into it later, but the other rocker doesn't come out for a long fucking time.
A real long time.
And
man,
he gets a huge pop when he comes out, dude. And it's like, when do the rockers split up? We'll talk about it when he comes out. So Bret Hart is in. It's a melee. And then the next man in.
Hold on. Bret jogs very oddly to the ring.
Who?
He looks like a human animation on a PS2. His legs barely move. This is just these are some observations I have. Bret's punches also look super good. I love.
Yeah, Bret does have good punches. I think it's kind of underrated.
Everything Bret did was great in the ring.
Yeah, Bret, that shit he does when you throw him into the turnbuckle and he takes it right in his chest, and it always looks like the most painful thing ever.
Yeah.
Gnosis says, "Are you telling me you didn't like King Booker?" And I think I remember liking King Booker, actually. Didn't he do like a fake British accent when he was the king?
Yes.
Yeah, I do like that. That's cool.
And also he had William Regal and his wife, and they like became this delusional, insane group of people. Hail King Booker. You just got to go super over the top with it. Is that
I like? And it had been long enough since the last like King gimmick that I think that worked. That was probably my favorite era of Booker T's like career, actually, is that era.
Skewer Universe says, I liked the crown as the prize for the tournament, but there's only 2 King gimmicks I ever thought worked, which is the Macho King and the King of Hearts, Owen Hart. I agree with you. I don't think that there's I thought the King of Hearts was great. And, you know, like Bret won in 93, the first pay-per-view they did.
Yeah.
And he never, they didn't call him King Bret. It didn't matter.
No. And Owen wasn't a king in the sense of like, I mean, yes, he did wear the crown for the Photoshop, but like he didn't wear it all the time, No. He just was the King of Hearts.
It made him the King of Hearts, which was cool. Yeah.
So then we have Bad News Brown.
Mm-hmm.
What do I have in my notes? At this point, Savage eliminates Jake the Snake. I don't know if were there more eliminations before that?
Nope.
Here we have, I actually put it in my notes. We have Ted DiBiase, Roddy Piper, Warlord, Bret Hart, Randy Savage, and Bad News Brown. That's what we're looking at. What do you think about Bad News Brown?
Bad News goes right after Bret. And that is a callback to the Battle Royal from the year before, where Bret and Bad News were the last 2 guys in the ring, and they raised each other's hands, and then Bad News
hits him with the trophy.
Hit the what wasn't his finisher called the ghetto kick or something? I thought he broke the trophy over his head. His finisher was the ghetto blaster. The ghetto blaster. Okay,
which is that's a sweet name for a finisher, though.
It is.
There's a lot of problematic shit with Bad News Brown.
And this only goes further. So he hit the ghetto blaster on Bret and threw him out of the ring. And then they gave the trophy to Bad News. And then Bret took the trophy and busted it in the ring. And that was the beginning of Bret's singles push, which then they halted.
Yeah. And
put him back with Neidhart.
And that was...
which had already happened by this point.
There were football players in that battle royal. And I think, isn't that the battle royal where Andre's he's not wearing the singlet. He's just wearing yellow tighty whitey like underwear.
No, that was WrestleMania 2. So that was
that's horrifying at that point. I never ever want to see that again.
No,
young Andre.
I have that figure of Andre and the Yellow Short Boys.
Yeah, no. By that point, no.
So, yeah, Jake's trying to DDT Ted DiBiase and Savage clotheslines him out of the ring. Yeah, that was a cool setup. I like that.
It was. And Savage and DiBiase are absolutely like the new mega powers in this fucking battle royal. They're constantly teaming up with each other. It's weird. Anything
Briefly,
else?
anyway. No.
And then Bad News Brown also goes back to, he's a Canadian, he's a Stampede guy, right?
Yeah, so him and Bret were very familiar with each other.
Yeah, so that makes perfect sense. Number 9 is none other than the American Dream of the Road, baby. He comes in and he goes straight for Macho Man Randy Savage.
Dusty runs to the ring. You know, Dusty looks like Dusty looks, right? He's a big old boy, right? But man, he's in great shape still.
It's crazy.
Like, I mean, he sprints to the ring, looks great, runs in, starts teeing off on Savage. So I guess something had already started between them. Sapphire is actually with him at this point, and they start a feud between Dusty, Sapphire, and Macho and Sherry.
How quickly do Sherry and Savage, they're together at this point. When did that, does he just immediately go from, because she's not with him at WrestleMania 5, right?
Don't think so.
But she is by 6. So
yes.
When is that?
I think Liz is at ringside during 5, and she was neutral. Right. And at some point shortly after that.
Does Sherry come in on her own, or does she just come in and immediately get paired with Randy? Do you remember? Because I wasn't watching at that point.
She had already been the women's world champion.
Okay.
In WWF. So I think she was still under contract as a wrestler, and then they decided to make her a manager. So she's at ringside, and when she starts yelling, like she gets shown on camera. And then shortly after that, she starts yelling, and this woman's shriek you could hear it anywhere in that building.
So this is probably not even like a controversial statement at this point, but like, Savage and Liz is classic. That's I absolutely prefer Savage and Sherry. 110%. And like I said, I don't even think that's controversial at this point. Those two work together so well. They are so fucking funny anytime they are together. She's a blast. I really like her.
I think that Savage, Sherry Martel is one of the greatest managers of all time. And I think she is criminally underrated. You know, I know they put her in the WWE Hall of Fame and all that, but man, she was just as good as so many of the greats. The only person I would put her at the Jimmy Hart level, but not at the Bobby Heenan level, that's high praise.
The only person at the Bobby Heenan level is probably Heyman and Don Callis, I think, are the only ones that come close to that.
Right. They're the only ones who are on an equivalent plane.
And Heyman now, I don't watch WWE now, so I guess I shouldn't comment, but it's like he almost just seems like a caricature of Heyman at this point. But I don't really know because I don't watch.
I think when he was managing Lesnar, he started to become kind of sing-songy, boo rock. It just felt very samey. So
voice where he does this too much, and it just whatever.
Skewer Universe says, at least this wasn't the Rumble where Savage eliminated himself. That was actually hilarious because I don't think or maybe he did eliminate himself. I know he jumped over the top rope when he wasn't supposed to.
Oh yeah. Which one is that?
And I think they let him come back in.
In this one, well, I have in my notes here, Dusty what a shocker. Dusty backdrops Savage out of the ring and onto the floor. And that's apparently pretty much immediately when Dusty comes in.
It's very, very soon. And Savage gets crazy height on that backdrop.
The number 10 man is the guy we were just talking about, Andre the Giant. Andre comes in and apparently throws the Warlord out. And then Heenan and Fuji kind of get into it outside, which is, again, the any man for himself kind of shit. Like, they're talking a little shit to each other. Where do you put Fuji then? If we have those guys are the top 3, where do you rank Fuji?
I think Fuji's entire gimmick is a trope from Odd Job, from
Absolutely
James Bond. I think Fuji Vice is probably the best thing he ever did with Don Morocco.
Yeah.
On Tuesday Night Titans. I don't rank him very highly.
No,
I'll say
I
that.
can't even think of anybody of note. Well, he managed Demolition for a little while, right? But even
he managed Demolition. That was probably his best run as a manager.
Yeah. But I don't. Yeah, like you said, I mean, he's just kind of
Actually, no, I'm sorry. His best run as a manager would be managing Yokozuna.
Yeah. I mean, whatever. Number 11, your favorite professional wrestler, the Red Rooster.
Yep.
Okay. So anyway,
this is interesting for a lot of reasons, though. He runs in and immediately attacks Dusty Rhodes. I'm like, isn't he a baby face? Like, why would you attack Dusty first?
Is he a baby face at this point? Had he split from Heenan already?
He had split from Heenan. Yeah. Because he beat up Heenan at WrestleMania 5.
So
and then I noticed he was doing the cluck head motion as he ran to the ring. And I'm like, you can run and do that?
That's amazing. Well, he said he was supposed to get the Mr. Perfect gimmick, but unfortunately he was in the wrong place in line or whatever his claim is.
They very randomly apparently gave Mr. Perfect and Taylor could have been Mr. Perfect.
Right.
Instead he was the Red Rooster.
Skewered Universe is asking a question. What did he just say? Why didn't we ever get Fuji versus Heenan? Well, we kind of did for a split second.
Yeah, and I saw enough. Fuji was memorable, but not for great reasons. Yeah. That is very true. And, obviously a lot of Asian stereotypes. Also, he was a piece of shit as a human being.
Oh, really?
Did you ever hear the story about, I think it's with maybe Jimmy Snuka? They were neighbors.
No.
Fuji had complained about, I think it's Snuka's dog.
No, I've never heard this at all.
Didn't address the barking dog.
Okay.
Fuji has Snuka over for dinner. And literally this Boss Man Al Snow thing with Pepper.
Seriously?
Fuji literally fed the man his dog. That's accepted as true. So
wow.
I can't confirm with 100% accuracy that it's true, but
I'm going to choose to believe it. Well, in that case,
and that was considered a rib,
right? Well, back in those days, that was acceptable. Bad News Brown tries to punch Roddy Piper.
Yep.
Piper ducks, and Brown goes over the top rope and then pulls Piper out.
Yep.
And then that would set up another, shall we say, controversial moment in WrestleMania history, right? WrestleMania 6.
Roddy Piper run into the ring, half white, half black.
What the fuck?
It's, as a kid, I didn't really realize the connotations of it, but
I also didn't understand what the fuck it, I think maybe I wouldn't have even known what Braveheart was, so I wouldn't have thought of it in those terms. It's bizarre.
I have no idea what his intention was. If you go back and you listen to, I struggle with Roddy a little bit because I enjoy Roddy's work generally, but there is a lot of borderline racism, homophobia, a lot of that stuff in Roddy's work. And it's not just limited to Bad News. I think this is the most overt example, though, where just one look at it is what the fuck?
What were you fucking doing with that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So apparently, though, it backfired because I guess you ever heard that story that he couldn't wash it off, and it was he had to go to the airport
he had to walk around like that for days. Yes.
Well, maybe
I did hear that.
Maybe that was God punishing you. Okay.
I don't know if this is the first time that somebody who got eliminated
pulled somebody
back and eliminated somebody else, but Jesse Ventura. I love and hate this about Jesse. He calls out all the shit that doesn't make any sense. And so he's like, why is Bret? I wish Bret was here.
I know.
Why is Bad News allowed to eliminate somebody after he's already been eliminated? That's not right, Shivani. And these guys are so confused. Nobody smartened them up. They brawl to the back.
I did want to ask you though, like Bad News Brown. I think Bad News Brown is fucking cool. And I mean, I don't know that much about him because I wasn't, like I said, this is kind of, I came in and really started watching hardcore like before WrestleMania 7 and he was already gone. Okay. But like old videos I watched, he seems like Stone Cold, but like 20 years earlier or something. Maybe not 20, but you know, like, but he seems way cooler and he seems cool enough that he should have had more. And I've heard rumors that he claims he was supposed to get a program with Hogan and he was supposed to get the world title and all this. I don't know how much of that is true. I think he's cool though. I mean, that's all. He just seems like a fucking badass dude. He wore one fucking fingerless glove.
He was a legit martial artist.
Okay.
So he had that going for him. There's a story where Andre was drunk on the bus and called him a slur.
And he pulled a gun.
Bad News confronted him directly.
Yeah.
And Andre backed down quickly.
Did he pull a gun on him? Is that the story?
I don't know if he pulled a gun or not.
Maybe I'm mistaken.
I know that Andre did back down to him and apologize to him immediately.
Yeah.
And Bad News also, I think, is a guy they would have been terrified to put in the ring with Hogan because Bad News could just shoot on the guy and take the belt off him if he wanted.
And maybe that's all. Maybe that's it. I mean, think about this. Andre the Giant is the guy that everybody says, well, Andre was a great guy unless you pissed him off. Or Andre was a great guy unless you didn't like him. You know, and Andre has his way with you in the ring. And that dude was afraid of fucking Bad News Brown.
Yeah. Yeah.
Also, Bad News Brown is a great name.
It is. And the rest of his career, he wrestled as Bad News Allen.
Which is also an okay name, but
Alan Coge. So, there you
go. The next man in is Axe from Demolition. Andre eliminated the Red Rooster pretty much at the exact same moment. How the Red Rooster has to be gone pretty close after this point, right?
Yeah. No, he's thrown out quickly.
Out of the business.
You could just see
out of the WWF. I mean, was he around for much longer?
He's just a jobber. I mean, I think he lasts for a little while longer, but not much longer. And then he's back in WCW. Yeah.
And then at this point, the crowd erupts into a huge weasel chant. And, I like Bobby Heenan. I love him. And then it's like, again, I make the comparisons because I love Don Callis. And it's like, it just made me I chuckle because back in those days, the worst thing you could call somebody was a weasel. And now it's fuck Don Callis,
Yeah. Yeah.
and me and my 14-year-old son. And I'm like, okay, you can say fuck at this event because it's Don Callis. So don't tell your mom.
Yeah.
How times change. The next man in is Haku. And then I have nothing in my notes until the next man in is Smash. And then we're at Haku. I'm going to run down who's in. Haku, the Hitman, Axe and Smash are both in. Andre, Roddy, DiBiase, and the American Dream of the Road, baby.
Yeah. Okay. So I do have a few notes.
Yes.
Demolition had just lost the tag titles to Andre and Haku on Superstars a month before this. Okay. So Haku runs in and Andre and Haku beat up Axe before Smash comes in. And Demolition the story, was to get the belts back on Demolition at WrestleMania. And they beat Haku at WrestleMania. Also, Dusty Rhodes does his hookup spot, which is him getting hit and then dancing. And he starts doing the dance. It's good shit, okay?
Yeah.
And then Bret at one point headbutts Haku and then falls to the mat because
because you can't.
They're doing the whole, if you're Samoan or you're Tongan, apparently, or you're Fijian, they can't. You can't headbutt those guys.
Pacific Islanders or whatever.
Pacific Islander. There you go.
It's the one racist trope I will allow.
Yes.
That makes any sense. It's because it's a positive trope, I guess. It's like, hey man, if that's where you're born, you just have a much harder head than everyone else. I mean,
yes.
Listen, I'm Polish. You know what our tropes are? We're fucking stupid.
Oh yeah.
We're stupid people.
I'm Irish. Our tropes are that we're drunk. And as it turns out, I am. So
this is not the first time we have talked about our own personal ethnic stereotypes, white
That's true.
stereotypes.
That's true. We as white people are very oppressed, obviously.
Oh yeah. Oh, we have it. We have traditionally
real
in this
rough.
world have always had it very terribly bad.
Yeah, very rough.
The next man in at number 15 is the one-man gang, but he's not the one-man gang. He's Akeem, the African Dream, which I guess was a Dusty Rhodes rib.
It was a rib on Dusty, and that's what's so hilarious about this to me is that, I mean, this is cringy as fuck. Like,
It is.
in retrospect, because it's this very large man saying he's from the deepest, darkest Africa. He's working with Slick, which is kind of their cover, I think, for the whole thing. I think it's interesting that Akeem and Dusty are in the ring at the same time.
Right.
You know, because this was originally come up while Dusty was working for WCW. And now Dusty's in WWF and they're doing this. Skewer Universe with the accurate statement that white stereotypes are 99% true. I agree. Mm-hmm. They are.
What do we have here? Demolition eliminates Andre with a double clothesline.
Yes. And Bret had been thrown out off camera.
Yeah, and I think the Red Rooster might be thrown out at this point, or no?
Rooster's been gone. He's gone. Yeah.
And they say, because I think it's Jesse says like, oh, you're so preoccupied with Andre, we didn't even notice, or something like that.
Yeah, and I actually could see kind of over the shoulder of the Demolition dudes. You see Bret's legs just kind of
just
go up in the air behind those guys, and he gets eliminated. I'd be pissed if I was Bret, because him and DiBiase are the Iron Men at that point.
Right. And even like, we'll get to it when it happens, but like, for as amazing as his run was, DiBiase gets eliminated, and it's like, it didn't seem like it seemed like there should have been more fanfare around it. Like it should have been a bigger deal. I don't even remember.
DiBiase's still in for quite a while after this. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Like he goes a long time.
And the entries I've noticed have slowed way down at this point. Like they're not coming in even I think it's more like every 4 or 5 minutes, you know, like they're slowing way down. But Jimmy Superfly presumed murderer Snuka is the next guy out.
Presumed.
Yes. And Snuka eliminates Akeem. He does this flying jump, but he puts his hands up. It is supposed to be a headbutt.
Right.
But his hands don't he always puts his hands in front of his head. So it's like he's shielding the guy, obviously, from the beginning. But he also is hitting it from behind, but his hands don't even make any contact with Akeem. And Akeem just barrels over the top rope. Akeem's gone.
He's just like, I'm done. Was he ever the one-man gang in the WWF?
Yes, he was in like 86, 87.
That guy was kind of cool. That seems like kind of a waste of his coolness.
I always thought one-man gang ruled. And then he becomes a one-man gang shortly after leaving WWF, also known as one of the genuinely nicest guys in the business.
Really?
And he just left because he was tired of the schedule. He had enough money. He didn't care. Yeah,
that's awesome.
And then he wrestled as a one-man gang for like another 10 years, I think.
I was going to say, he was on the indies for a while, right?
And he's still around. He wrestled in WCW after this. He was the U.S. champion after this.
That's fucking awesome. I love the era of the roly-poly badass. If you're a big round dude and you're like 6'4" or whatever, you're the toughest dude in the world. What's a quote here from Skewered Universe says, early Rumbles didn't have every elimination called out, and I miss that. It's fun figuring out who's still in the match. That's a good point. That's interesting.
Yeah. And it wasn't so tightly scripted. You know, you can see people talking to each other. You can tell they're trying to like figure out what's supposed to happen next, but it's not this tightly scripted thing. I think the thing about Rumbles now is they look scripted. They feel scripted. Every move, everything that happens in a match feels scripted. There's nothing organic about it. Yeah,
and that's a really good
That's why
point.
I was saying like these tropes that have developed with Rumbles, you know, even the Kofi Kingston stuff, even the Naomi stuff, even, you know, all that stuff all feels so fake. None of it feels organic.
You get these exciting moments, but you don't. Again, it's like back when you watch the old one, it just feels like wrestling. Like it just feels like this is shit that's happening, you know?
So Haku runs. So I'm sorry. Snuka eliminates Akeem, and then immediately starts getting his ass kicked by Demolition. All of these people are baby faces. I kind of like that.
Yeah.
Haku then defends Jimmy Snuka. So Pacific Islander unity, apparently. Then they fight. And DiBiase and Dusty are still brawling.
It's like the little brother thing where it's like nobody, I'm the only one who can pick on you. You know what I mean? Nobody else can pick on that guy. I'm the guy that picks on him.
Yes. And then Dino Bravo comes out.
Yeah. Canadian strongman.
I didn't understand Dino at all as a kid. No. And to this day, I'm like, he's a really strong dude that is kind of funny.
Right.
The end. With
I don't know what
hair.
His gimmick was ever supposed to be other than just jobber. Really.
He was a massive star in Montreal before this. So, he had been
I watched Dark Side of the Ring. I know.
Yeah, he'd been a huge star in Quebec. He was a few years away from being murdered.
Yeah. But I don't know. I mean, my memories of him are kind of vague. He just is very uninteresting to me. I've never really been into the guy.
Yeah. And then his buddy, the Canadian Earthquake, is the next guy in.
Right. And Earthquake, dude. Okay, so I have notes about Earthquake.
Yeah, let's do it.
So, okay, first one thing. There's a point where Axe and Smash are both trying to eliminate Ted DiBiase. But if you're watching it, Smash is trying to eliminate him and Axe is clearly holding him in. And it's like just ridiculous. But anyway.
Smash actually yells at Axe. I had the same note that it looks like Axe is making the save for DiBiase from his own tag partner.
It's bizarre. So,
and Smash is like, hey, what are you doing? We're trying to throw him out or something. It's like.
Earthquake comes in, legs like tree trunks, looking like a glazed ham, fucking eliminates Dusty, eliminates Axe, and just like, so this is after his feud with Hogan or before?
Before. So he would wrestle Hogan at SummerSlam later that year.
Okay, that's what I'm thinking. Yeah, and you can tell because
he injured him on the Brother Love show,
right,
as you'll recall, and they had people writing their get well soon Hogan cards into him, and they've just now said that they've said recently, I think Bruce Pritchard said it, that they were just using that to add you to their mailing list for the catalogs and stuff.
But Earthquake looks fucking badass here, man.
Well, and when he does the stomping stuff, like every time he stomps on the mat, it does sound like an earthquake. It sounds like tremors.
It's crazy. Yeah. And he always, I think we actually have discussed this before. He always had that one little drip of sweat coming off of his nose, and it fucking grossed me out so bad as a kid. So disgusting. His hair would get all stringy, but I like Earthquake. I just think he's a cool dude. I mean, like as a wrestler, I don't know him as a man.
And you can tell they have a plan for him because he does eliminate Dusty and Axe. With very little effort.
And then later on, he gets a bigger spot. Number 20 is Jim the Anvil Neidhart.
Sprints to the ring, looks like he just did a bump.
And I'm sure he probably did, allegedly.
Yep.
Okay, so I have in my notes, now we have Snuka fighting Ted DiBiase, Jim Neidhart taking on Earthquake, and Gino Bravo is just standing around. Dino Bravo. I had voice text. Smash is still in there somewhere.
Yeah.
Blah, 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 blah. Oh, they all team up against Earthquake. That was the thing.
Yeah.
How do you get the big man out? They all fucking team up.
It's a huge pileup of guys.
Somebody in the comments says, I never knew what Dino Bravo was supposed to be other than the muscular dude that paired with her. Yeah, that's about right.
Never knew what he was really supposed to be other than he's just like a kind of annoying guy who's with Jimmy Hart. A lot of Jimmy Hart's guys tended to be that way. I love Jimmy himself as a manager. One of the greats,
baby.
But
baby. I told you about the time that I met him at a toy show.
Yes.
And he
tell the story again. Tell the story again.
So I'm walking. We saw him first. Well, it's almost two stories, but he was there. Somebody else was there, and I can't remember who it was. But my wife's like, "Hey, I think that guy over there is a wrestler." And I'm like, "Well, which guy are you talking about?" And she's like, "Well, that guy with the hair that looks like it's dyed with shoe polish and the skin that looks like leather." And sure enough, it's Jimmy Hart, just tanned and gross. Like when you leave when you leave something in the oven for too long and it starts to crack and it's so dried. And as we're leaving, he's wearing sunglasses the whole time. And I never went and talked to him because I didn't really care. I didn't want to stand in line or anything like that. But I kind of just wanted to, hey, as we're leaving, and I look over and he's wearing sunglasses, but I presume we made eye contact, and he just looks over and goes, "Hey, baby." That was all I fucking needed.
That's better than an autograph. That's better than anything else you're gonna get.
It was like,
"Hey, baby."
When I met Jake the Snake at a show one time, and this is years ago, and I was like, "Hey, man, I was a fan when I was a kid. Like, it's cool to meet you." And he just kind of looks at me. And he's like, "So how is it? Did I live up to all the hype? Is it even worth it?" I mean, it's just like, he was such a total fucking asshole, but I loved it. He didn't offend me or anything. It was like, he wasn't like being a dick. He was
being sarcastic,
heel, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
Jake was great. Next up is the Ultimate Warrior, cocaine personified, tassels and face paint. He eliminates Dino Bravo.
Backdrop.
Yep. And then, Ted DiBiase's like tied up in the ropes, and then the Warrior and Anvil are taking turns, like chop, chop, chop. That was a cool little spot.
They were laying them in on DiBiase.
Yeah.
Like, they were chopping the shit out of DiBiase. Haku, so Warrior runs in, backdrops Dino Bravo out, starts beating up Jimmy Snuka. Haku again makes the save, and then Snuka's smash and Haku all beat up the Warrior. The Neidhart and Warrior do the team up and chop the shit out of DiBiase. Then they attack each other. And it's so, dude, I haven't seen this match since I was probably 15 or something. Like, it's been a really long time.
I've never seen this Royal Rumble, you mean?
Yeah.
This is the first time I've ever seen it, actually.
Okay. So I had seen it because of the Hogan Warrior moments and stuff like that. So I have such a different conception of what's supposed to be happening in wrestling now than I did as a kid watching this. And so these guys are all teaming up on Warrior. And obviously Warrior is going to look really, really strong. Okay.
Yeah.
The model Rick Martel runs out. Okay. He gets big boos. This is
Robin's egg blue, beautiful tights.
God, beautiful tights. I loved it. And I am a huge model Rick Martel guy. He is one of the criminally underrated dudes from this time. He never lost on television, only on a big event. He never lost on television. He'd do jobs on house shows and stuff, but he never lost on television. And what I noticed about the Warrior, but keep in mind, was my favorite wrestler when I first started watching. He just doesn't register or sell for anyone.
No. It's like he doesn't even really know he's wrestling.
Yeah. And he looks like he's just trying to go from thing to thing to thing. Like, he knows he's supposed to be somewhere at a certain time and he goes over there, but he's not convincing in any way. Haku eliminates Smash with a Savate kick. Martel almost goes out, but claws his way back in a really great spot that kind of presages the Shawn Michaels, foot thing.
Skin the cat.
Yeah. And then, but he kind of crawls back in. And then Tito Santana comes in and goes right at Martel.
Yeah.
Because they had broken up his Strikeforce the year before.
Right.
And are just kind of in a permanent feud.
Martel, again, I mean, I know we've talked about him several times, but it's like, he's a dude that you really could have done a lot more with. And if they were concerned about, he's got a strong accent, well, all the better reason for him to be a heel in the fucking 80s. You know what I mean?
Well, and it worked perfectly with his gimmick and everything.
Was great. The arrogance, perfume, when he blinded Jake the Snake, that was great.
Yeah. And that was like a year from now. You know? I also, I think Martel, we'll get to it, I guess, but Martel is almost like the Warrior's like supervisor in this match, because every time the Warrior is like, looks confused or like he's trying to kind of go somewhere he's not supposed to be, Martel goes and hunts him down kind of.
Really? And, I guess I never noticed that.
We'll talk more about it. Honky Tonk Man is your next man out.
Yeah.
One of the only times you ever see Honky come out without his full entrance gear on. He just comes out in his tights. This is a pre-Rhythm and Blues Honky Tonk with Greg Valentine by a few months.
Mm-hmm.
He comes out. Neidhart gets eliminated by Martel and the Warrior in a very unathletic spot.
Yeah.
So they like have him up on the ropes, Martel and the Warrior, and they push him over. And then Jim just kind of like barely lands on the apron, and then he just rolls off the mat. Like, it's just...
He's like, look, I'm not taking that. Whatever you think I'm
he just
do,
didn't
I'm
look
not
convincing in any way. The Warrior then finally eliminates Ted DiBiase with a clothesline.
Yeah, and it's like almost like off to the side of the camera or something. Like, it's not... I feel like that should have been the biggest moment of the fucking Battle Royal.
It should have been in a lot of ways.
You know, because he was in there from the beginning. Ted DiBiase is a big heel. I mean, he's like the heel in the WWF. Maybe the biggest, other than like Savage, I guess, is a heel now. But like, yeah, it's like, it just seems like that should have been a much bigger thing when that happened.
So this is where I think you see Vince miss the boat on a few people.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, in my opinion, it would be DiBiase for sure.
Big time.
DiBiase should have been a world champion.
Yeah.
Because that $1 Million Man gimmick is made to be the guy who loses the belt at WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
So I think DiBiase is a major miss.
He's the number one biggest. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think to a lesser extent, I would say Mr. Perfect as well.
Yeah.
And this match is actually right where the missing the boat part starts. Because I think Perfect should have won this whole thing.
I was thinking the same thing, actually.
Yeah. So DiBiase's eliminated. Great showing from him.
Well, so this is my thing. I should do the hand raising button.
We both forgot. Yeah.
Here's the thing with the WWF that eventually made me like, this is why when I kind of figured out WCW, why I went that way is because shock of all shocks, I'm going to talk about an 80s toy line here. If you read G.I. Joe comic books, Cobra Commander was a ruthless, unscrupulous, devoid of any morals. If you watch the cartoon, he was a fucking goofball. Same thing with He-Man, and of course I understand it works in a cartoon and it's for kids, so I'm not like dogging it. But, there was nothing intimidating about Skeletor in that cartoon. That's how WWF kind of presented. If you were a bad guy and you were on the way up, yeah, okay, you're awesome. You're a bad guy. You're doing awesome things. And once your moment at the top was done, they just seemed like goofballs to me. Like nobody seemed serious anymore. And I don't know if that's just the overall circus atmosphere, if it's the goofiness of the gimmicks or what, but it's just like, like DiBiase getting eliminated almost off camera after all that. It just, it doesn't seem like they have ever, and to this day, they just don't seem to protect those guys the way I think they should,
DiBiase, you can see this is the beginning of DiBiase's descent down the card, where he's no longer a big threat at the world title scene anymore.
And I understand that's going to happen. That's the natural way of things. But like, it just seems like it's immediate, like he's just, you're just a goofball now. You're nothing.
I think that the idea really, I mean, and you could say that about so many people, like the only people who really are kind of immune from that are Andre and Savage, because Savage had been a babyface and kept the company going while Hogan was filming No Holds Barred and kept the houses at the same level. So Savage, they knew needed to be protected to some degree. And so he doesn't just fall off the face of the earth. Right. But, he's sure as hell loses to Hogan every time there's an opportunity.
And he wears a plastic crown.
Yes. Well, yes. Yes. This is what I was talking about. Warrior keeps trying to force everyone to sell for him and interrupting spots. And he just looks out of sync with everybody. He just, and I'm not here to shit on the Warrior, really. No,
there have been whole documentaries made shitting on him. I don't need to shit on him. If I'm going to shit on anybody, I'm going to shit on Jim Hellwig. But
yes, yeah, fuck that guy. But he inserts himself into things. It doesn't look good for him to do that. And I notice people stop selling for him at a certain point. Like, get the fuck out of here. Like, it's their way of ignoring him, kind of.
Right. It's always like you always hear that him and Andre feuding on house shows, and Andre just very quickly putting him in his place. Like, no, dude, we're not going to do this. But the Warrior was the guy that got me. I liked wrestling in that first initial boom when the cartoon was on, but never was really like into it. It's super into it. The Warrior, because I'm a comic book fan, got me into wrestling. But now, like you said, when I go back and watch it, it's like, oh, I understand why everybody complains. He had no place in that business. Like, he is bad.
He wasn't a good athlete. He had no psychology.
No.
And he kind of needed to win all the time in order to be believable. Like, you couldn't see him just lose cleanly in a match and still go on after that. And
because he's from another planet.
He's from another planet. And it just didn't work, So it's interesting because I try to think like, people have booked like, say, his run in 96 was very disjointed, which it was. Mm-hmm. But I'm like, okay, well, let's just say it wasn't. What if he had been that same guy and stayed in WWE and Austin wins King of the Ring? Where is the Ultimate Warrior in that company? You know what I mean? Like,
what would you have done with him in the Attitude Era?
Yeah. Like, how would you have evolved that character to make him work? And I think even he maybe tried to evolve that character, and that's what felt so out of sync about it.
But he did wear that hat that one time.
Yeah, and he had a weird feud with Goldust briefly.
Right.
But the next guy out is the Hulkster.
Right. Crowd goes wild.
Of all people, Jimmy Snuka immediately attacks him, and Hogan immediately eliminates him.
Yeah.
Then Hogan boots Haku out.
Yep. And he hasn't even taken his shirt off at this point.
No. And Tito Santana gets eliminated by the Warrior. Mm-hmm. And then this is where Martel is trying to control the Warrior, it looks like, because him and Warrior are brawling in the corner. And Warrior's just throwing haymakers, and Martel's returning fire. And Martel, again, he's trying to control this guy. Warrior is not getting the hint, and Martel stops selling for him. Hogan throws the honky tonk man out. Shawn Michaels comes in, gets that huge pop, and immediately is eliminated by the Warrior. He's in the ring for 5 seconds.
When you hear that pop, I'm just like, oh my God, holy shit. Shawn's gonna come in and fuck some shit up. Because he's not too long after this, the Rockers split, right?
I think it's at the end of 91.
Right? Or the 91. End of, so after WrestleMania 7, do they split?
Yes.
So it's a year later.
A year and a half.
I'm thinking, okay, well, this is the beginning of Shawn's, the precursor to his solo career. He's going to do something big. And he's just, what a waste of that pop. It's weird.
Stupid.
It was just weird.
And then Warrior immediately eliminates Martel.
Right.
Leaving Hogan and the Warrior to face off. And I will say, I think, obviously, the entire Rumble is really about this spot.
Yeah.
It's building up to this to give you, and this is where there was a time when WWF could tell stories just in the ring with nothing else. Because this is the match you didn't even know could happen.
Right.
Until this moment.
Yep.
They face off. It feels iconic. They do the shoulders off the ropes thing. Nobody moves. I love Jesse's call of it, where Jesse's like, nobody moves. They come off the ropes again. Nobody moves. Then they do this long crisscross routine off the ropes. Hogan does the duck under.
Yep.
Warrior looks like he almost tripped over Hogan, but he didn't. And then they hit each other with a double clothesline. They're both out. Yep. They did a great job making them look kind of equal.
And then that's the whole, they obviously do a bigger version of that spot at WrestleMania.
Yes.
And Hogan looks good here too. It's not the puffy Hogan, like wherever he was in his steroid cycle, he looks cool. Not gross.
And then while they're both down, the Barbarian, the most underrated man in this match, runs down to the ring and just beats them both up.
In my notes, I have the heroes are easy pickings, and all of the anabolic steroids that have ever existed in the entire world are in the ring at one time. And except for the Warlord. So tell us, Wax, philosophical about the Barbarian since you're such a fan.
I am a huge Barbarian guy. So I think this guy could have been so much more. If he, like, Warlord never deserved to go any further than he did.
No, he's a perfect guy for that spot. Warlord's perfect. He's the guy that he gives the British Bulldog a challenge as he's on his way up to the top. He gives the Warrior a challenge on his way up to the top because he's a physical specimen. He's just not really good.
Yeah. Barbie could work. He could, I mean, I'm not saying he's like Bret Hart or anything.
No.
You know, but when I say work, I mean, he could work his style, that big man style, with some athleticism. He did those running boots, and he did the hawk, clothesline off the top. That was his singles finisher. And I really felt like if they had really dialed in on him, I hate the way they changed his look when he got with Bobby Heenan, and he kind of wore that like weird fur
and he had like deer antlers and stuff.
Yeah, it was a terrible look. They could have let him keep the Powers of Pain look and change the Warlord. That'd have been fine with me. But time after time, when you go back and you really watch Barbarian matches, oh, dude, I had that. Oh my God.
I'm going to pull this picture of him out. Keep talking.
Yeah. So I was always a fan of the Barbarian. Even as a kid, I kind of recognized that he was a lot better than the Warlord.
He was actually intimidating.
And he was intimidating, and he was scary. And he has an interesting background too, because he was from Tonga or Fiji. I'm sorry, I can't remember which one.
I bet his forehead was really hard.
But he was a sumo wrestler.
Really?
Yes, he was a sumo wrestler, and he had a country. He went to Japan to do sumo, sponsored by his government.
How was he a sumo guy but he wasn't like a big roly-poly dude?
No. And a lot of guys weren't. Like Tenryu, like Genichiro Tenryu, also was a sumo guy.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And you don't think of him as being a big sumo dude.
No, I thought that was almost a requirement of sumo.
No. There's weight classes. I mean, there is weight classes. And so he does sumo for a little bit and kind of flames out. And while he's in Japan, he starts wrestling. Yep, there's the look we're talking about.
This era. This is for if you're listening to this and you're not watching it on YouTube, I have a WWF Superstars 6 official collector's guide, which was basically just a big pinup magazine of WWF, not wrestlers but superstars. And the Barbarian at this point is in his fur and deer antlers gimmick. So go on. I'm sorry, I interrupted you there.
Barbarian's out there, and I don't know if they were afraid to make Barbarian look too strong against Hogan and Warrior, but Rick Rude just runs down and enters without any countdown at all.
Yeah.
And just starts mauling the Warrior, and the announcers try to cover for it, but there's no way to.
No, the announcers say something about, the clock started as he was running in, but I'm like, the clock never appeared. Like, I don't know what you're talking about.
The clock never appeared. Shivani's trying to cover for it.
Yeah.
Ventura, of course, is all too happy to point it out. Because Jesse just does this shit, and I like it. I honestly I enjoy it.
It's one of those things where I always liked Jesse as a kid because I did not like Gorilla Monsoon at all when I was a kid.
Okay,
he's a fucking kiss ass. Heenan was a bad guy, but Heenan was supposed to be a bad guy. But like when Heenan would say, like I remember, I think it's WrestleMania 7. At one point, Hulk Hogan is choking Sergeant Slaughter with a cable. T-shirt. And Heenan points it out.
Oh.
And Gorilla Monsoon's like basically like, that's not really happening. And I don't like liars.
And the thing with Gorilla is he was a liar. Like, and it was so easy to spot the shaky morality of pro wrestling because if Hogan did anything heelish, Gorilla would be like, well, he deserved it.
Yeah. And he
deserved it. Or Gorilla would be like criticizing somebody who then turned babyface, and the exact thing when he did it as a babyface that Gorilla criticized him for as a babyface, he was fine with it as long as he was a babyface.
Yeah,
sorry. So he did the thing he did as a heel, as a babyface. Gorilla just made all the excuses in the world.
Yeah, I fucking hated him. And Heenan was a bad guy, and he's supposed to be a bad guy, so I liked him. I thought he was funny, but Ventura was the the dude that just came out and called it like it was, and I dug that.
Yeah. Well, and he had a little feature in the WWF magazine that I doubt he actually wrote himself, Jesse, where it was called like something like The Truth or something like, where it was like the body calls it like it is, basically. Right. And he did, I mean, that's not too far off topic, but Hogan's getting beat up by Barbarian and Rude, and the Warrior goes and bails Hogan out, and Ventura says, "Why would you do that? That's the dumbest thing you could do."
Yeah.
And then shortly after, Barbarian and Rude have Warrior on the ropes. Hogan goes and just clotheslines both of them, and they drop the Warrior over the top rope.
Yeah.
and Jesse they left it to where it looks like that was just a coincidental benefit of what Hogan did. But Ventura's like, he did it on purpose. He's calling him out for it. Mm-hmm. And rightfully so. But I couldn't get over how bizarre the Warrior's behavior is. He gets clotheslined over the top and eliminated. Then he comes back in. He beats up Rick Rude and the Barbarian for some reason, not Hogan. And then runs away. It's runs
away like he's scared. Like he just fucking
who
runs.
Is this guy? Like
it's
how
really
did I
weird.
ever like this guy?
I don't know. Because you liked superheroes. That's why.
I liked He-Man and I liked Thundercats and I liked all that stuff. And that's who the Warrior is.
Yep.
Made no sense logically, though.
Yeah, I have that same exact thing in my notes. Warrior jumps back in, beats up the bad guys, and then runs away like a fucking idiot. Yeah.
It just looks so dumb to my adult eyes.
And then Hercules is the last guy in.
Hercules runs out. Who cares?
Oh, no, he's not the last guy. I'm sorry.
No. But we all know that Mr. Perfect has drawn number 30.
Right.
And Mr. Perfect comes out. So it's Hercules, Barbarian, Rude.
And Hogan.
Mm-hmm. And then Mr. Perfect runs out. So there's 5 guys in the match. Mm-hmm. Hennig looks peak physically. I think this is like, he looks so just peak physical condition. And immediately attacks Hogan. They had some goings, some dealings with each other
after their feud, right?
Kind of.
Okay.
I don't think so. So Hennig hasn't really lost
fully.
No.
Okay.
And Hennig never lost on TV. Yeah. He's still undefeated on TV at this point.
Wow.
And Hercules backdrops the Barbarian out, but Perfect had destroyed the Winged Eagle title on television by this point.
Mm-hmm.
He had beaten Hogan by countout on a Saturday night's main event, and they felt like they were building to a feud with Perfect and Hogan, but I think Vince changed his mind and had Hogan and Warrior go at it.
Right.
Which in hindsight was a huge mistake, I think. I remembered it in a very, glass half full kind of way because Warrior beats Hogan, becomes a new big baby face. I think Perfect should have won this match, and they should have run Perfect versus Hogan at WrestleMania 6.
Sure.
Have Perfect win.
Yeah.
Have Perfect win.
That would have been
the final 4 is Hogan, Perfect, Hercules, and Rick Rude.
Yeah. And at this point, before Perfect comes in, I'm just like, I had kind of lost count how many guys were in the ring. And I was like, I don't even really want to watch this anymore.
Yeah.
Because at this point, I kind of figured Hogan was winning. I didn't even remember who was winning it, honestly.
Right.
I knew it wasn't Rick Rude.
Right.
Who would have been another good choice. Yeah. And I just kind of like ho-hum. When Hercules comes in, again, I'm not positive, but I feel like Hercules' better days were behind him at this point.
Way behind
probably
him,
confirm that. And this is just before Power and Glory, right?
Which was awesome.
Power and Glory, they're fine. I got no beef with them.
They're fine.
Yeah.
They're a good team. I felt like they could have had a run with the tag titles.
They could, yeah. They're not terrible.
They would have been a great team to lose the titles to
the Hart Foundation.
What's that? The Road Warriors.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, because they're about 6 months from coming in at this point.
I liked them better than I liked the Nasty Boys at that point. I know they weren't around yet. I like the Nasty Boys now, but I didn't like them as a kid. I thought they were just stupid.
They were.
Yeah, but now I think they're great. Fucking Pity City is the best name for a move.
And they bump like fucking maniacs.
Yeah.
I mean, they are maniacs. Rude very unceremoniously clotheslines Hercules out. So you're down to your final three guys. It's Rick Rude, Mr. Perfect, and Hogan.
Right.
And you can totally see where this is going.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
Perfect and Rude double team Hulk Hogan. Rude accidentally hits Mr. Perfect. You know, the whole classic holding your arms spot. And then Perfect's gets knocked out of the ring and kind of like is on the mat, but he's not out.
Right.
You know, he went through the second rope and he's on the ring apron. And Hogan throws Rude off the ropes, but Perfect is leaning on the top rope and Rude flies outside. And Rude is screaming at Perfect. And I was like, that's also a missed opportunity.
I was just going to say that would have been a great feud too.
If one of them if let's say Rude turned babyface and had a feud with Mr. Perfect, that would have been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Two Minnesota boys going at it. That would have been a lot of fun.
A lot of the WWF at this point is missed opportunities.
Yeah, it's missed opportunities because instead Mr. Perfect is going to feud with Brutus Beefcake and lose to him at WrestleMania 6 for no reason.
The last thing in my notes about that is just watching it reminded me of why I ended up disliking Hogan, why I did not enjoy a lot of aspects, because you have a murderer's row of guys like Rick Rude, Mr. Perfect, even like you want to say Barbarian, Earthquake, even, where you have all these guys that could have had a brief little run with the belt and nobody touched it. You know,
none of the heels,
and just had that stranglehold on the belt for so long and just never fucking dropped it to anybody, you know? Even DiBiase, this just every single person that Rick Martel, it's like every person that comes in, you're like, oh wow, that guy could have had a totally different career. You know, I don't know.
Well, and Martel, I mean, was only ever a tag team champion. He never won the Intercontinental title. He never won because they had that on the Warrior and he was just running roughshod over everybody. Perfect goes, that's it.
Yeah. And
they're like, and Tony Schiavone goes, I think he's calling for the perfect plex for some reason. Then Mr. Perfect hits a perfect plex, but you can't pin the guy. That's the whole point of the move. And Hogan immediately hulks up. So fucking stupid and just tosses Perfect over.
And then that's it.
Yeah. And Hogan does his long routine.
Hogan's got a pose, right?
Yeah. It's such a dumb ending. It really, really stupid.
And it's weird because I would have thought as it was going on and I'm putting it together in my head, I'm like, oh, well, this must come down to Hogan and the Warrior. I couldn't remember. I didn't know any of it. And I'm thinking, well, it's got to come down to Hogan and the Warrior because it sets up WrestleMania 6 and it doesn't. And it's like all these different things that you felt could have happened. And it's just a lackluster kind of ending.
Yeah.
And then there's a dude in the front row that's a full grown adult man wearing a Hulk Hogan sweatshirt. And I'm like, why are you? You're a grown man.
At the end, Hogan takes his sign from him and like puts it in the ring and then gives it back to him. And the dude's like, this is the best moment of his entire life.
Yeah. And he looks at me, he's like, yeah, bro. And the sign says Hulkamania will live forever, which it did not.
Yeah. Well, and he's probably one of the insurrectionists at the Capitol on January 6th.
Absolutely.
One note for me, I love those classic Royal Rumble ring aprons, the purple ring aprons. They're so basic and so clean.
Yeah.
Love them. They used them for another few years after this. I think through to like 94. But man, like I wish I had an authentic scale ring
for that purpose.
Like it would look so cool.
Well, it just seemed like you used to, like WrestleMania used to always kind of, I mean, I guess it still has the same logo, but it just, things used to look like they kind of went, it's like you would pull out the old, here's this apron for this, here's this apron for this. And I mean, obviously times change and they're not going to do that anymore, but yeah, it was that was a cool looking era. I like that. I like those old logos.
Yeah. And I thought there was a lot of, the every man for himself thing. They embraced it a lot more at this time, where seeing the Ultimate Warrior and Jimmy Snuka go at each other, or seeing
Yeah.
Tito Santana get thrown out by the Warrior,
Or seeing Haku save all the baby faces.
Yeah, or seeing him save Jimmy Snuka a bunch of times.
Right.
Or seeing all these people you would just never see at any other time ever go at each other.
Yeah.
They really did do it here, and that was a lot of fun to see. They just don't do that anymore. And I guess it's just not as uncommon now to see baby faces oppose each other. You just never saw that here.
That was a big deal. And the Royal Rumble was a thing where when I started backing away from WWF or WWE, I guess, I would always come back for the Rumble for years, like for quite a while.
Yep.
It's like I might not watch all year, but I would typically always watch the Rumble because they were always just a good time. You get to see everybody. Here's the whole, you want a little microcosm of what that company was like at that time. Here you go. Cause they're all in the Rumble or the Survivor Series. The Rumbles used to be really fun.
Yeah. And there was a sense of somewhat unpredictable. I mean, there was at least like 7 people you thought could win.
Yeah.
And it feels like WWE, at least when I was watching, and really honestly, based on whoever else has been winning the last several years, it really only feels like there's 2 guys, 3 guys maybe who could win, or 3 women who could win.
And let's get back to what we were talking about at the beginning of the show. That's because the winner is going to go to WrestleMania.
Yep.
If the winner's going to go to WrestleMania, it narrows down who's going to win. Otis is never going to win that.
Right.
Yep. Or
Nailed
one
it.
of those LA Knight, whatever. If you don't make it for WrestleMania, then you can take a guy like, say, LA Knight, who is apparently very, very over, but they're never going to do anything with. Give him a fucking Rumble win. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
and he just keeps getting older too. It feels like he's already too old for them, and he's just getting older. And it sucks because he's over.
He is. And if if the Rumble doesn't mean you're going to WrestleMania, well, he could win that. That'd be cool as shit, But
they don't treat that match. It's not like it's the main event of WrestleMania almost ever.
Right.
Like whoever wins the Rumble, like last year it was Jey Uso. I think he wrestled in the first match on WrestleMania this year.
He went for the second best belt. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's not what it was. I think they're stuck kind of, because if they stop doing that, then it's like the Rumble. What does the Rumble mean now?
Right.
Even though, like you said, just having the bragging rights that you won it should be a lot.
Right.
So let me ask you this. Do you have any other takeaways kind of about WWF at this time?
Let me see if I have anything in my notes. No, I mean, let me see. No, not really. This was, like I said, I came back around WrestleMania 6, shortly after WrestleMania 6. The fact that Warrior beat Hulk Hogan was a big thing to me. So that was in like 7th grade, maybe, or 6th grade. I'm not really sure. And I thought that was really cool. I thought the babyface versus babyface thing was cool. I don't know. No, I don't know. This was a fun-ish era. I remember, even, like I said, it was probably another year or a little after that before I was really back into it. It was a time period where the tropes started to become tropes. You started seeing those things kind of crystallize into, what they would become. I don't know. It was fun. I liked watching it. I had a good time.
I think what I would say is you were right. This is an era of missed opportunities.
What?
There's something to what was said out of your mouth that I then extrapolated into something better, which was that that's
correct. Okay, so go on.
There's a lot of missed opportunities here. When we're talking about the heels, Hogan being on top for pretty much 6 years straight.
Yeah.
And never losing, and never, you can't beat this guy.
Yeah.
It was just rough. It was just rough. It was not a fun way to enjoy the show. Yeah. And you knew that the vast majority of his opponents were monsters of the week that weren't going to beat him. And, I think Warrior winning at WrestleMania 6, that is genuine, what I consider to be the end of the golden age of WWF, where 84 to 90, and specifically the Warriors title win over Hogan is the end, because they never got full. Yeah, they never got behind the Warrior fully as the world champion. Hogan was still main eventing a lot of the shows, no matter what was happening. Hogan was either a co-main or Hogan was the main. And so it just, the Warrior was the wrong guy to do this with, I think, and I think Vince was looking for his next steroid freak to be his top guy. And, Warrior did have a very organic following. I was part of it. He had a lot of physical charisma. He just he wasn't the worker that Hogan was, and he was never going to be. And I think that's where you start to go off the rails. I think, honestly, if you had built Perfect and Hogan for WrestleMania 6 and maybe had your first heel win, you might have a different story to tell.
If it wouldn't have been Jim Hellwig, I've always looked at WrestleMania 3 through 6 as like, that's a movie. Those years, because you have the old guard, which is Andre the Giant, the monster, and the hero defeats him. The feud with the best friend becomes the man for a little while, then they fight, and then at 6 you have the new Hogan defeats the old Hogan, but goddamn, you picked the wrong Hogan. I see what Vince was trying to do. He was trying to book it like a cartoon or a TV show and not really like a wrestling thing. To your point, if Perfect would have went over, if Rude, anybody, it would be a whole different thing. But yeah, that's kind of where the golden era ends. So it was interesting to see. I enjoyed it. It was fun.
It was a fun match. It's a fun Rumble to watch in the sense that it's booked well for the most part. If you are a Hogan hater like we are, like both of us are, like it's not as fun. But at the same time,
I can put it in perspective.
Yeah, of course.
And it's like you said earlier. It's also loose. It's like it's not overbooked. It's not over scripted, and that's cool too.
Yeah, I think this actually reminded me how overscripted the WWE that I stopped watching in like 2020 is, where it's just like, it's just not any fun. There's nothing organic about it. It feels so, fake. Yeah. And wrestling's fake, but it's not good fake. It's like, yeah. Yeah. Anyway,
just icky, but whatever. It was a good time to watch. I don't know do you know who suggested it?
I don't remember their name. It was on Spotify. I do want to give a big shout out and a big thank you to them.
Thank you.
Please, if you watch this on YouTube, follow our channel. That's the/hard/way/podcast on YouTube. Follow us there. Subscribe to our channel. Click the little bell so you get alerted when we're live or when we post something new. And if you're listening to this after the fact, if you're listening to the edited version, please follow our podcast. Subscribe. Follow what we're doing. Follow Sickos Club online, follow The Hard Way online, follow Sit Down, Shut Up, Mark Out online.
Absolutely.
And make sure that you stay tuned, because we have a lot of fun stuff coming up this year.
Yep. And everything we do, as we said earlier in the show, everything we're doing, we're just getting stuff off of YouTube. So we usually try to give you a little advance notice. You can watch, before we watch, and you can listen and see if your viewpoints align with ours or not. Yeah, I don't know.
And also next week, we are reviewing Wrestle War 90.
Yeah, and I don't even know what that is.
I know a few of the matches. You're going to see Lex Luger versus Ric Flair again. You're going to see, and a pivotal point for Lex Luger. And then you're going to see the Steiners versus Ole and Arn Anderson.
Oh, shit, really?
That should be fun. Wow. That's going to be a lot of fun.
Well, the reason we're going to watch it is because I stumbled on it, and you're going to see a fucking amazing rap video at the beginning to kick the show off. And I can't wait for that.
I can't either. That's going to be great. Do the deal. Get us out of here.
All right. He's Blade Daily. I am Professor Degree, or Captain Degree, if you will, Cadillac Margarita. And this is Professional Wrestling the Hard Way.
Sickos Club.